Hello, and welcome back to Baker Brews. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Donna, and here on this channel we chat about homesteading in the city, and I share a ton of our family adventures. We are in the month of June. This video might not come out till July, but I just want to give you guys like a walk around summary of everything I have planted in the garden. Sorry, of course we live right beside like a noisy road, so you're gonna have traffic in the background, and you're gonna have chicken sounds as well because I did the urban backyard chicken program, so I got backyard chickens as well. So anyway, excuse the background sounds, but I wanted to give you guys a little walk around tour of everything I planted this year in 2025 in our garden. I got two boys. They like to eat out of the garden. I love to personally forage out of the garden all summer, fall long. That is like my goal, is just to be able to eat something every day from the garden. It makes it so fun. That is what summer is all about to me. So I'm going to show you guys just a quick tour of all of the things that I love to plant, like that our family has started to really love. I think there is nothing quite like eating that fresh tomato out of the garden or picking those fresh berries off the bush. Like, I absolutely love that. I love foraging. I love having like little food forest in my backyard. We live in the big city of Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. So I understand that some people might not have a lot of space or a lot of time. And I just think that like doing even a little bit just makes summer that much more special and that much more sweet. So come on with me. Let's jump into some of my favorite things that I have in the garden. All right, to start off with here, let's talk berries, because berry bushes are awesome. You plant them, they come back. Just make sure you're always checking if you need more than one in order to, you know, have pollination happen, which is what happened to me. So in this corner, to start off with, this was my second berry desire, was to have blueberries. Now I know blueberries are not as prevalent in Edmonton here, but I was like, I'm gonna give it a try. So I bought one blueberry bush, then realized you need two. So now we finally have our second blueberry bush. We've had very dismal blueberry years in the past, but this year, this bush that I've had for like going on 2 years finally has some berries on it coming. It had boatloads of flowers, which I'm super excited about. So I think this is going to be a good year. The very first berry bush that I absolutely had to have in our garden was a spot for raspberries. Now, raspberries can be quite invasive. They can take over an area quite quickly. So I put them in this raised garden bed, hoping it would contain them. I also put hedge pushers to pull them up higher. We've even tied them up, as you can see, just to try to keep it as close to the fence line as possible. Even the chickies love to have a little raspberry snack. Speaking of invasiveness, these raspberries have invaded beyond the garden box. You can see they are outside the garden box here, as well as down here. Sorry, there's the mousetrap. Gotta have those every once in a while. But the raspberries are outside the garden box at this point. I just keep digging them up and moving them. These ones seem to be keeping relatively tight to the rest of the bush, so I have been leaving them alone. I might dig them up and move them to another spot later this year, but this was the best investment in terms of berry bushes. We get berries every year. If you buy berries, I would say buy like one set of raspberries one year and then buy another set the next year, because raspberries usually have like one really fruitful year and then they'll have a lighter year. So by having two plants like 2 different years, you might get some really good consistent yield. I also have 2 different kinds of raspberries in here. I have one which is your typical very thorny, very prickly raspberry bush. And then I have one which is considered a thornless raspberry. It's not thornless, but it is less thorny. This is the less thorny bush. And this kind here is the very thorny kind of bush. They make 2 different kinds of berries. I will get a summer berry off the very thorny bush, and then I get like a fall berry off of the less thorny one. Don't ask me what kind of varieties they are. I don't know. They came from the family farm, which I have videos about the family farm and stuff like that. So I snagged these raspberry bushes for free from the farm. There were 2 varieties growing out there, so I just took a plant of each and have continued to raise them in my city garden. Oh, did you get one? Let's see. Pop it in. This is my most recent berry bush endeavor. This is called a haskap. You need 2 haskaps as well, 2 haskap bushes to have pollination happen. Haskaps are kind of like an elongated blueberry. They're kind of sour. They are super good though, and I like that they produce berries very early in the season. Like I said, we are in June, and these have already produced berries that the kids have mowed down on, and it's basically done. There's not much berries left. So we'll see, but we got a great crop from them this year. I technically have 4 different plants in here, 4 different haskap plants. So I have loved having haskaps. I think it is really fun. It's really unique. It's not something I grew up with, so I'm just really enjoying this unique berry. And no garden is complete without some strawberries. That's what I think anyway. There were strawberries planted here in my front garden area when we first moved into this house, and I have just since expanded, adding more strawberry plants to this area and allowing them to propagate and sucker. Right now I am trying to get some of the suckers to go into some pots, so that way then I can move some strawberries around, maybe even try and overwinter some. I don't know. I have also dug up some strawberries because not only do I have strawberries in this front area, I also have them in our side alley. They are looking really luscious and green, but because it's so shaded, I don't think they get pollinated as much, but they also are there, and I'm kind of moving them to other places in the garden just because we love strawberries. And I just think summer is so complete, being able to go and pick some fresh, lovely strawberries. And these strawberries come back every year. So we go through a whole winter here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. We hit that minus 30 degrees Celsius weather or colder. So having plants that come back every year is just so nice. It saves me money. It saves me time. They are always there. So speaking of plants that come back every year, I have to give a shout out to my rhubarb plant, which I absolutely love. This was one of the first plants I planted when we moved here, was to get a rhubarb plant in and to get it growing. I love rhubarb for rhubarb juice. I love it in rhubarb at crisp or crumble. I love it in like strawberry rhubarb pie. I have recently even started adding rhubarb to my sourdough waffles.
Here. What is a pansy? What is a pansy?
We got purple pansies, so this is going to be our edible stuff. So we got pansies, the blueberry, a second blueberry bush, and then we got some herbs. They had a good deal, 3 for $10. We got basil, we got Swiss chard, and we got cilantro. Yay! So I think we're gonna make like a salad tub, kind of, with the turny thingy, with all the openings, because pansies, the flowers are edible too, so it'll be like everything is edible. And then we'll plant the blueberry by the other blueberry.
Sometimes you gotta use what you got. Oh, wheelie! Lincoln, I'm putting this right where you are.
What are you doing? Whoa.
Yay!
Good.
That looks nice right there under the stairwell. So partial sun. Look at how good this is doing. Look, yeah, this is lettuce.
Ooh, lettuce.
You can have a piece and
Can I
eat
have
it.
a piece?
Yeah.
It does taste like lettuce.
Yeah, and then we got our Swiss chard.
Yeah, that doesn't taste that great.
The lettuce.
The Swiss chard. Can I eat this?
That is cilantro. Yeah, you can eat that too. You want to try this?
God. That's a really pickly taste.
It's kind of spicy. I always have some kind of like salad pot. Like usually it's just one pot, but this year I have expanded it because the boys are into salad and I personally really like and enjoy having a fresh garden salad. We have like 3 kind of salad bar pot stations going, one with all spinach, one that has like some lettuce and is taking its sweet time, and then this really cool clay pot with all the holes on it that has the variety of other edibles in it, which has been really fun. I also, speaking of herbs, have a whole bunch of mint that comes back every year. I got a couple mint plants from a friend and they are in my front area and give me mint all year, and it is so nice to dry and have with tea or in your mojito in the summertime.
So, right now we will dump this in the hill.
Yep.
And then,
We're gonna find all the seeds in it.
and
Yeah.
there is no seed.
There are seeds. So if you look inside all of these dried bean pods
Found one.
are seeds. So we're gonna take it.
one.
Yeah. And we're just gonna break them apart to find all the seeds.
So this is what we got.
Look at
We
that.
got some peas and some beans.
Love it. That's not bad.
Dun-dun.
It's not terrible. There's a variety in there. But now we're gonna plant them.
Yeah. These just look like peas.
These are peas.
Peas or peas.
Peas are peas. They're dried peas.
They look like corn.
These are peas.
Alright. Can I help plant?
Yep. So
Where can
your hand here. We are a super beans and peas family. I love our beans and our peas. Last year was my first time saving some seeds, and that was really fun. And whether those seeds come up or not doesn't really matter. I just think the principle of it is really fun and a really cool thing to do. So we did that. We saved quite a few seeds, planted them literally in every garden box and in every garden area. There are beans and there are peas everywhere, and I planted them at varying times, like different weeks, so hopefully we get a nice variety of readiness and yield of these beans and peas so we can be enjoying them all summer long. I just think beans and peas are one of those like really easy plants that it comes up really fast, so it germinates pretty quickly, and they fill in your garden boxes like super well with lots of coverage. You can get climbing ones, which we really liked, the purple pole beans, because they climbed up really well up my trellises and stuff. So this year is my first year building like a little bean teepee thing for them, so I'm hoping they will climb up this as well, and it'll just be really fun to have them also climbing like every other climbing thing that I have. I put beans and peas next to it to try to get them up and climbing, so I can just have that full vertical garden going on. Last year, I had a super abundance of tomatoes and I loved it. We were canning salsa. I was freezing them. We were making tomato pie. Like, it was tomatoes galore. This year, I tried to not plant like as many tomatoes, but of course I had some casualties, and then I got some free tomato plants. So we'll see. I might end up with like a boatload of tomatoes again, but I'm totally okay with that. The kids honestly would eat them like apples. They pick them off the vine and just gnaw on a huge ripe tomato, and it was probably like a beefsteak tomato or aroma. It didn't even bother them. I did try to plant more cherry tomatoes this year just because they are so fun. The kids picked I think I had like 1 or maybe 2 cherry tomatoes last year. They picked it clean all the time. There would hardly be any cherry tomatoes on it for the adults to ever have. It was a rarity. So this year I tried to plant a few more cherry tomato plants, but I also have like the beefsteaks. This year I'm trying a Nova Scotian tomato, and like I said, a few other like fun cherry tomatoes are all around the yard. I usually plant my tomatoes in this big green container. This one is usually got a tomato in it or 2. I started with 2. They got decimated by chickens, and now there's there's a fresh one, a different one. But I also have an entire garden box that is dedicated to tomatoes. I put some in my main garden area, and then I have 2 cherry tomato plants in the kids' snack box as well. So tomatoes everywhere. Now, I literally have so many tomatoes that I don't have enough tomato cages. So I invested in 3 tomato cages last year. This year I said, okay, I'm only going to buy 1 new tomato cage. So I bought 1 new one, and the rest of the tomatoes are being held up with random sticks, pinwheels that I've clipped them onto, random metal rods, just whatever I can find at this point, just because I don't want to buy more tomato cages. I want to kind of use what I have, see if this is gonna work. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe next year I'll buy some more garden stuff, but this year I was like, that's it. I just have to work with what I got. Look at my pumpkin! It's coming! Ah! It's ready to go outside! Yay! Whoa! I always love planting a few sunflowers along the back fence areas. So like in my garden boxes or in the main garden area this year we're going to try. I like them just because they are so beautiful. They are just like the true summer plant. They also produce like sunflower seeds, and I save the heads and I feed them to my chickens over the wintertime as snacks. This is my first year like buying cucumber plants. So this is also my first year like truly trying to plant cucumbers. I tried to start some cucamelons. They died. And then I have planted a couple cucumber seeds. I didn't expect them to come up, but they have come up. So I have 2 cucumbers that did sprout on their own. But I thought, you know what? I want to buy 6 cucumber plants that are a little bit bigger so I can plant them like in my side alley, which is typically a lot more shaded. So I wanted a bigger plant there that would have a healthier start. So I had intentions of planting like 6 there, but then my husband went shopping and he bought like 12 of them. So now I have so many cucumbers. So maybe this will be our year to just like have a boatload of cucumbers. I would really love to do some pickling and make our own pickles. We love pickled things. Like last year was like our pickled zucchini year. So this year maybe will just be a pickles year. But I got loads and loads of cucumber plants, so I'm really hoping they will climb up these trellises and every other trellis area that I have put them in, so that we can have like cucumbers galore. Would be really awesome. This is also my first year to plant kohlrabi. We tried kohlrabi last year and I really liked it, and so did my hubby, and I thought this is going to be a really interesting plant. Let's try and grow it. So this is our first year trying this one as well. I have typically planted peppers every year. This was my first winter overwintering some peppers that I think I got like 4 that overwintered. They looked really dismal, but they are coming back now. Like I'm excited for them. I'm hoping I will get a bigger bush. They say overwintering peppers allows for a bigger bush for the next year, which should produce more of the pepper plants. And I grow typically jalapenos and California peppers. Those are kind of the main pepper plants that I like and like to grow. I also have to put this shout out for the zucchini and the carrots. These 2 are like must-haves in my garden. I get my zucchinis from my mom. She always starts them for me every year, and every year I'm like more, 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 because we love our zucchini. I love baby zucchini in stir fry, but I also love pickled zucchini. It is so good. So we go through quite a bit of zucchini. I have zucchini on the ends of my trellis on my main garden, and then as well as in the chicken coop planter, I have a zucchini. They get really big, and I'm hoping to try to get them to go more vertical this year so we can kind of be picking hanging zucchini off. I think would be just really cool. And then you can't go wrong with carrots. We absolutely love having garden carrots. They just taste so amazing, and I would highly recommend them if you have the space for them. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you like this kind of content, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. I have a Homesteading in the City playlist up for you next if you're looking for more gardening tips and ideas.